Okay, so I'm with my friends here, and we've been friends for
Long time. 24 years?
24 years, absolutely. And what it is, she has this amazing garden. You're going to see this for yourself. But because of our friendship and my skills, if you like, she asked for some help to design this garden for her. And I'm going to see if I can put some inserts in here of some of the sketches that I did in the early days based on what you wanted to have done in your garden. But what we're going to do today is be out here in this amazing garden. You can see the sun is shining, which is fantastic. I'm not surprised. And we're just going to have a look around and
Come and see.
yeah, come on.
See
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's just have a look. It's great. So this is sort of it at what, just looking at the garden from left to right. You know what's beautiful about this? Look at this. Look at this area here.
This is my favourite bit.
Yeah. Do you remember what was underneath all this before?
There was a sand pit.
There was a sand pit. Yeah, so there was a sand pit along here. That's how I remember.
Yeah.
And so the idea was to get rid of the sand pit and to create something here. Look at this.
Yep. And we wanted something with fragrance.
Yes. And Nadia always says she's not good at gardening, but I can tell you something that you have learnt some skills.
I've picked up a few skills along the way.
It's great.
And it's just been amazing.
Yeah. Not only do you know the skills, but you even know the names of the flowers. I mean, look at this one here. Look at what we've got here. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera.
That's going to look nice in maybe a week or two.
Beautiful.
When it opens.
And that's the
agapanthus.
Good. I put you to the test. Agapanthus.
You taught me that.
And what about that red leaf thing over here? Look at this over here.
So Asa.
Asa. Beautiful. Look, any garden can benefit from having an Asa. These are just beautiful, magnificent trees. There's a lot of sun falling on this right now, and it's a beautiful, beautiful tree. We have got the lemon balm underneath here.
Yep.
Yeah. Hebes?
I think.
Yeah, got some
those
Hebes
together.
there. Did we?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
To Cambridge, I think.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, so that would have been it's called Simpsons up in Cambridge. But look how beautiful these flowers are on here. They're just lovely.
And the bees love them.
They're beautiful. Look at the delicate, tiny, delicate flowers on these plants here. What about this one here?
So this is my favourite part of the garden. I really like the scent of these, and they start off like a very pale pink, and as they bloom, they kind of lighten and almost go to a white sort of colour. But the scent is
lovely as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, this one is like a rambling rose. It just goes and goes and goes. It really, really does. But it just absolutely lightens up this little corner here. I'll tell you what I love in your garden, all the little extra bits that you put in here as well. I just love these little features that you have here as well. This cupboard thing here, I'm not sure what to call it, but it's beautiful. Yeah. I love the detail on here, and I particularly love this as well. This
I think this is a succulent.
It is, yeah.
Just a tiny little piece went in there, and over maybe 18 months, 2 years, it's grown to this.
Yeah.
Really easy to look after, doesn't need too much water.
Doesn't need much at all, yes. And all the little things here, like, I love this container. I love this. It's beautiful, this pot. But looking at the roses here, can you see them? Yeah, so do you prune these back at all at the end of the year?
I do. I do try to prune them back, because it does grow.
It does. It can take over a little, can't it?
Yeah. So kind of at the end when it's all finished flowering.
Yes.
I don't think these are repeat flowerers. I was trying to work that out. You all know, Tossie.
No, but I'm not meant to know everything.
Because I believe some roses repeat flower. You don't need to sort of worry with this one too much. You just cut back at the end.
Fantastic.
And it will flower again next year.
It's beautiful. Wouldn't you agree? Look at it against the blue sky, eh? I mean, who can't love what there is to love about this garden? Okay, so we'll take a little walk down the garden and see what else there is. What would you call this? Well, the lovely seating area up here.
The sort of decking.
The decking veranda.
We had to change it because it needed changing basically.
I love it though.
Kind of put the banisters set back slightly.
Yes, that's a clever idea.
Extra plants. I guess
Do you see? Look at all these little tips here. So if you're putting a banister up, put one up, but, you know, put it in just slightly, a few, you know, maybe 8 inches away from the edge, and that allows you to have even more garden space. I mean, look at this. Aren't they beautiful?
So it's really
Aren't they beautiful? Now. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it.
Do you know, I don't know what this one's called.
You know what?
Tell me this.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's done really well. It was
I know,
tiny.
yeah, so it is, oh my goodness, you're putting me to a test. Something tricolor. This is such a common name, but Formia. Is it Formia?
Yes, is it Formia?
Is it Formia tricolor? Tricolor being the 3 different colours that you have in these leaves.
Formium.
Yes,
Right.
it's Formium.
You're
Yes, my tutor will be proud.
You are right.
Formium tricolor with the 3 different colours in here. They're beautiful, right? You got some irises down here,
Yeah,
these
we
yellow
inherited
ones.
These ones.
Yeah, okay.
So
they're great.
These come up every year.
They do, yes. And it's such a good idea, really, in the garden, where possible, especially if you don't think you're much of a gardener, to consider having, you know, evergreens such as this that stay in the garden all year round, but also having plants that just come back year after year, so you don't have to worry too much about planting things. Look at the flowers on this Formium as well. They almost look like miniature bananas, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
And then they
Beautiful.
they open up
Yes, look at this.
like that.
Look at this. Beautiful. Okay, and then we've got here.
So here is the magnolia tree you put in.
Yeah.
And probably a couple of months ago that was in full bloom.
As
It's
it would be,
pink,
yeah.
Pink magnolia flowers.
Look at that. The foliage is great on here. The problem with magnolias, they're very beautiful, but they don't seem to flower for very long at all, do they?
No, not too bad. I
Not
would
too
say
bad.
maybe about 4 weeks it was in flower.
That's good.
So
That's
not
good
bad.
enough. Yeah. Then you're left with the foliage.
Yes.
And then you've got this plant here as well.
This one again we've inherited in the garden, and it's a rhododendron.
Rhododendron
Yeah.
is the flower. That's the
So
one.
that just actually, if you'd come last week, it would have still been in
full bloom. Yeah.
But it's done now.
Yeah, and I know there are different myths about rhododendrons. I can't remember. Is it because I can't remember? Is it that they say once you've planted it in a spot, you should never move it or something?
Oh, really? I don't know.
I'm not sure if
Probably
that's
right.
what
I
I've
was going
heard.
to ask you actually.
Yeah.
Should I prune this now? I mean, I never have.
Yeah. I
maybe
know
something
people do prune back their rhododendrons, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to, because you want to manage the space
I
here.
might do because
You don't want it to get
it's grown pretty big.
And it's always
Considering how small it was.
Yeah, and it's always a good idea to prune back after it's flowered as well.
Okay.
It does look as if there might be 1 or 2 areas. This one I don't know if it's got a spent flower on this one. It looks like it might still have something, it's what we're to show. But it's flowered very nicely, and it'd be a good idea to prune back, I would
I
say.
think maybe this year it needs a bit of a prune.
Yeah, a bit of a haircut here. But you know what? I've just spotted one.
Oh yeah.
Can you see that back there? I'm trying to point to it. I don't know if you
Right at the
can.
back.
So right at the back there is one
Last
last flower in the magnolia. Let's see if we can see that flower. Back there somewhere. Can you see that beautiful
Well
purple?
spotted.
Yeah, there we go. Somewhere back there. Hopefully you can see there. Beautiful colour. Okay, so then we have.
So then you put in some, I don't know the proper name for this, the common name, and I think I'm right, red robin.
Red robin is a common name.
So we've got
It's a
this
smaller-
small one.
It's lovely, isn't it, when the new leaves just shoot up in this red colour. It's
Yeah.
lovely. You've got this down here, heuchera.
Heuchera, that's it. Yeah.
How do you find those?
Okay, I think too much sun is not
I
always too
agree.
good. I think they
do
prefer
okay with
slightly more shade.
I agree.
Because there were 3 of these, and I just have the one left.
I do
And I wonder if it's just
agree.
too sunny.
Yeah,
But,
because they do
I
quite
love
well in
it.
a shady area. I do find that to be true as well, that the heucheras actually do quite well in a shady kind of area. Sometimes I feel that the hot weather can almost scorch the
Yeah,
leaves a little
I think
bit.
you're
Yeah, they do quite well in damp conditions. I've spotted a couple of rogue trees back here, and I
Yes.
sometimes sort of think, okay, get our hands on those
Need to sort that
before.
out.
Yeah, can you see this one here?
Yeah, it's quite big, that one.
And there's another one that can you see
here,
that, yeah. And before you know it, you'll be fighting to get those out of the ground. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on those. Do you think I remember the name of this plant here? No.
I can't remember the name of this. And I can't remember, there's more of this
Yeah.
trailing.
But you know what I'll do? No, don't judge me because I can't remember the names of the plants. Don't judge me. I like them because they just look beautiful, right? And so what I'll try and do though is I'll put the names of the plants underneath when I put together the editing. When I say when I put together the editing, I mean when somebody else puts together the editing, okay? So here we go. Yeah, we need to get
weeds.
that. Yeah.
I don't know what this is called, and I remember you telling me, wait till this grows. It's amazing.
I think.
Because I wasn't sure when you put it in.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about it?
Yeah,
Look
I
at
love
this.
it.
So this plant
the
here.
texture of the leaves, and it changes colour.
It does. Look at the undercolour of the leaf as well.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bronzy, silvery colour. Let's just make sure I've got that in focus. Hold on to that again. Sorry. Yeah. So it has this sort of bronzy, textured look under the leaf. It is worth having. It's an evergreen, you know, so in itself it just seems very understated.
Yes.
But the branch is
really
a
nice.
browny colour.
Change. And look, if you get in here, it's
Yes.
slightly different texture that it starts off.
And then it just changes.
Yes.
So I do like that one, yes.
So you've converted me to
Good,
that.
good. Another red robin you've got there, you know, very well
Probably
known for
needs
the...
a bit of pruning back.
Looking good though.
That's done really well, that one.
There's some little features here. Not sure if I can see that on the... That's beautiful. You love butterflies anyway, I know that for sure.
I do.
Yeah. Do the butterflies come and visit this garden?
Definitely, especially over lockdown.
Oh, wasn't that a good time for the
but
insects
they do
and
love
things?
the fun. And the bees.
Of
Got
course.
a lot of bumblebees.
Okay, we've got another beautiful flower here. In fact, speaking of bumblebees, we've got one right there in the flower. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful.
So nice. And I have forgotten the name of this flower.
Okay, this one's a peony.
Oh, that's it, peony, yes.
Peonies. I love them because, I mean, you don't really have to do too much with them, right?
No, and they just shoot, you know, every year they just come up and then they'll die down over the winter months.
Yeah.
So yeah, they survive winters.
They
make
do.
These lovely flowers.
Yeah. So they're kind of fuss-free, really, aren't they? You don't have to do too much with them at all.
And that was one of the things I asked you for something that was fuss-free.
Yes.
Because I was quite nervous about gardening, so I didn't want anything too complicated.
Okay.
So a lot of what we chose was, you know, kind of low maintenance
type thing.
after,
Exactly.
and kind of robust because Bella was quite small and she kicks the football, and so
Looks like it's worked out well.
it
Yeah.
has.
You've got an apple tree here, I see, and it is fruiting. So you've got some apples on here.
Pippin. I think that was the name of it.
It's ringing a bell. Yeah, beautiful. But you've got some lovely, you know, apples that are, you know, growing. Obviously, at this time of year, we're sort of like the very beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
And so we'll expect those to get bigger and bigger as the season goes on. We have got this beautiful. Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah, I love them.
Oh look! Oh look! Oh look! Oh look! Oh, she's gone. Oh, I disturbed her, obviously. Foxglove. Beautiful. Absolutely love them. Yeah. Okay.
Little seating area.
That's nice. I remember putting that there, I think. You know, I remember, you know, you saying that you put that little seating area there. That's lovely. I know you had a different climbing... Is it the same climbing frame?
It's the same climbing frame.
Really?
Last year...
It's painted differently,
painted
though.
it.
And a different roof, maybe?
And I got a new roof because with the wind
Right.
and the sort of the elements it tore. So we put a new roof on it for Bella and we painted it blue and white, which is what she wanted.
Lovely. And what Bella wants, Bella gets.
Yeah, generally.
Yes, okay. Oh, there's that tree. I'd probably cut that back again as well, yeah. So I'd probably sort of prune this one back. Yeah.
Oh, this is part of the cherry, isn't
That's
it?
part of the cherry. Yeah, so probably that one and that one.
Yeah,
I think I remember at the time
and
cutting that back,
some
yeah.
of the green, maybe I need to prune back a bit.
I'll tell you what, there's some on this side, and maybe if you've got your secateurs handy,
get
well,
them.
yeah, let's give that a go. So here we put down the lawn, and I tell you what, that was hilarious. Do you remember when we had to prepare this lawn? When Nadia's coming down these stairs, we had to come through the back entrance, which is up a flight of stairs.
Right.
We had to put some gravel down underneath this lawn. We had to prepare this whole lawn from the very beginning.
It was really muddy, wasn't it?
It was a comedy act, to say the
A lot of
least.
preparation went into this.
Yes. We had to bring, those dumpy bag loads of gravel first of all, and then, all kinds, and then levelled it up. But it's worked perfectly.
And it truly doesn't get muddy.
Yeah, because we added gravel, so that was
a tiny bit of mud, which you'd expect, but it's never sort of bogged with water.
Yeah, so that was a bit of an issue. When they inherited this garden, it was really very boggy and quite damp here, and so the task then was to put lots of drainage underneath here, so that when it did rain, the lawn itself wouldn't get too soaked, that it would drain away. And the feedback obviously is that it has worked.
It really does.
Yeah. But the effort was to bring in those, do you remember?
So
It was hilarious.
days and days.
Yeah.
One, I don't remember, like gravel or grit and topsoil.
It was almost funny. It was hysterical. We used the big recycle bins. That's what we filled them up, and then we tried to make a ramp down the stairs, I think.
Yeah, I think we did have some sort of a ramp.
I think in the end, maybe we even got to the top and just threw the gravel down the ramp.
We swapped to those big bags and just dragged it down the...
We dragged it anyhow, but it had to come down here. But hey, it's all paid off in the end. We got the lawn. Look, they got the lawn. They got the lawn they wanted. Okay, so in the end it worked.
So you can use it all year round, which is
it's necessary.
Yeah.
And like you said, during the lockdown, it's been a nice space.
Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And with all these evergreens that you've put in, it looks stunning in the summer, but it always looks nice all year round because it's always looking green.
Yeah. And we've got another Acer over here, and look at that. I don't even know if I've seen that recently with all
Look at these.
Yeah.
They look almost like those propeller things,
Those propeller
don't they?
parachute ones.
Yeah. They started off as like tiny little flowers and then they grew into this.
That's great.
But I love the sound it makes.
It's lovely. It's a beautiful tree. You can never go wrong with an Acer as far as I'm concerned. No. And they do like shade, but your garden gets a lot of light, and it's...
That's another thing that's changed. So when we did the garden, there were loads of trees in the neighbour's garden.
Oh my gosh.
But most of them have gone. So it's actually changed quite a lot. So it's really sunny down here. And it was full shade before.
Do you remember the trees you had here? I think we've got the evidence of the stumps. Yeah. And do you remember... Oh, it's a shame it's not on video. But I was so sure where they were going to fall, just using a saw. Yeah. It's like, no, it's going to fall just here. And that's exactly where it would tumble down to. It's funny. But what we're going to have a go at is just pruning this back a little bit. I think the question really was, how do we keep this? This is a laurel, it's an evergreen, but we don't want it to come too far away from the fence. Mm-hmm. And so we're just going to give that a little pruning back. Okay, so let's give that a go. So, I know some people are so afraid of pruning. In fact, if I give you that and you can just sort of... I don't know if you can see through that at all.
Kind of, yes.
Kind of, yeah? Yeah. But really what I'm going to try and do is create a bit of a wall. If you come in close to here, can you see this long one that's sticking out? I'm actually going to cut it all the way to here. And what that means is that that's now going to take over. Ah. So if I take it to this one, you can cut all the way into here. In other words, where the last leaf is, that's what will do the job next. That is going to take it up here. Because you want to kind of hide the fence and create privacy up here. Yeah. So I'm going to prune this back here so it doesn't come outwards. It's just going to be quite close to the fence.
Screening it, isn't it?
Exactement. Yeah. So I'll have a look here and see what we've got. There's quite a bit going on here. Yeah. But if you see here, I'm going to take this whole limb off. So that means it's just going to work its way up here.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, if you left this, obviously, it will cover here, but it's going to be so wide away from the fence.
take up a lot of space.
Yeah, so the idea when pruning back is don't be afraid. If what you've planted, which was the task, to plant a hedge that creates privacy, then you don't really want it to come and encroach in the garden. So don't be afraid to sort of chop it back a little bit. So this one, for example, is coming out quite a way, probably about 1.5 foot away from the fence already.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to find a branch that is pointing backwards, and it's going to grow back to cover that space.
I see.
You see that, yeah?
It's going to take a bit of practice.
It will, I'm sure, but I know you've got the skills. This one here might look very drastic, but I'm going to cut this all the way here. And I'm going to stop this from growing out from the garden. So if you just watch, I'm just going to do a few more. Here, cut it back wherever. So cut it back to a leaf. So rather than cutting it with space left over, cut it as close to it without damaging it. It means it's going to, yeah? Yep. Where might you cut it on this one then? See, I would go all the way back here.
Oh, really?
Or here. Here's a good one, just to keep it safe so it's not too far back. And it means now, where the last leaf is, the same direction it's pointing in is where it's going to grow.
Yeah.
It's no longer going to grow outwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this one, for example, is going to start...
That's growing outwards.
So where might you cut that one then? To prevent it from growing outwards and to let the leaf go back towards the wall and that space there perhaps.
Would it go to, could you do it to one of these?
That's good. That's good there, yeah.
That's still too long.
No, that's... Well,
So
you cut it there.
to the leaf.
That's it. Yeah, and if you think it's too long, then you could always go back and cut it to there.
If I wanted.
If you wanted to. But that's good.
It's okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, and what that means is that it's no longer going to grow outwards and take up this space. This will now be the lead, and it will go to fill that corner. So you've almost directed it in exactly where you want it to cover. Yeah? You know that this will no longer grow outwards because it's been trimmed off.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah?
going to grow
Absolutely.
from there, yeah.
You could do the same here even. If you leave this, it's just going to keep growing outwards. So where could you take this back to?
I guess to this leaf.
I totally agree. That's it there. Then that means it's not going to grow outwards, it's just going to grow upwards.
Yeah.
The top ones here I can leave. I think you can leave those ones.
Yeah.
But what about something here as well, maybe? Because otherwise, if left uncut, it's going to just start growing away from the fence. Go for it. Be brave. That's it there. Yeah, fantastic. There's another one here. That's it there. Now you might find it easier to cut with the secateurs pointing outwards. And if you notice, if you cut it that way, you might damage the leaf. So you want your secateurs pointing the same direction. So I'm going to do it with another one. That's it there.
You mean like that?
That's how it would be. That's how it would be. Then it means that you're not pointing it towards the leaf. Yeah, the leaf. Okay, let's carry on with this particular tree. We'll keep in mindful of time as well.
Would we take this one from the middle, or would we leave this?
I would still trim that, because if you don't trim it, it's just going to keep growing outwards. So what you want it to do is to cut and to fill the space. So remember which way to turn your...
So that way.
Perfect. That's perfect. Okay, keep going. You can take it further down. See how far away it is from the wall? You might want to really push that one back a little bit, maybe. You go for it.
Further in, like...
There you go. Yeah. And with this one here as well, maybe.
This is a tricky one.
I'd go all the way back. Take it back.
Bring
Take
it
it
right
back.
back down
Take
to
it back.
the woody bit.
Yeah. That's it. Good job. Yeah. Now remember, with this one that you've just cut, it's perfect. It's lovely. Where you've cut it, the last leaf is this leaf.
So it's growing out.
It's going to grow outwards. So where could you have cut it?
I guess here.
To that one, which means... There you go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you've just decided where that's going to grow. That means it's now going to grow inwards.
Yes.
I mean, not back in. Right. Right. But that, yeah, good. So with that in mind, what about this one then here? What might you be able to do with this? So whatever leaf you leave last, that's the direction it's going to go in afterwards. Decisions, decisions.
That one's growing that way.
Yep. Go further back.
Further back
A
than
little
that.
further back I would have gone with that one. The next one back. I know the leaf looks a bit half eaten.
As far back as this.
Yeah,
Okay.
good job. Okay, let's start on this one possibly as well.
Yep.
So wherever you leave the last leaf, that's the direction that plant is going to grow in.
So maybe to here.
Good job. I'd say the same. That's it. This one down here maybe? What might you do there? That's it. You got the hang of it.
Yeah.
You got the hang of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then literally the secateurs go the same direction of whichever way the leaf
Okay,
is.
so if the leaf's pointing that way, you do it
Point
that
it
way.
that way. That's it.
Okay.
Let's do a few more on this one as well.
So I think this one needs to go quite far.
Go for it, yeah, because you can see it's really coming out
back.
at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, there's the dog
Hey.
joining on the action. And
Oh, sorry.
it's growing upwards.
Yep.
I mean,
Lovely. So this is going to sort of go up here now more.
Yeah.
See how good she is? I'm out of a job now.
got the best teacher. That's what.
Thank you. Well, I had some good teachers. This one's to Rhonda. Was it Rhonda? Oh gosh, what my teacher's name? She'll not be impressed. I've forgotten her name. What's her name? Rhonda? I've forgotten.
Capel
We'll edit
Manor?
that. Yeah, Capel Manor. Great college. You've got it. Yeah. You've got it. That's exactly it. So don't be afraid. Go for it. Because you don't want it to come too far out. Go for it.
I don't know.
Go for it. That's fine. So you know it's going to come out here though.
out.
So where might you have taken it down to instead? The other way with the secateurs, however. There you go. Can you see that? Then it doesn't cut into it. That's it. So this is just going to grow back here. Take up this space. Let's get this one. Because this will just be a long stick otherwise. But you can... Well, yes.
Cut it
Yes.
to the-
Yes. 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 Yes.
So it's not about sort of hacking away. It's
No.
taking small. Sometimes
Say
I think
what
I'm
you
over
say that
zealous.
again.
It's not about hacking away because when I do the pruning, I'm quite brutal. It's about sort of shaping it almost, isn't it?
I have to agree. And there's nothing wrong with hacking away at it, but sometimes I think, especially with this one that's got such big leaves, you don't necessarily need a hedge trimmer. This one is a plant that can so easily be controlled with just a pair of secateurs. But like you said, it's not about being too brutal with it, but it means that you can just control the way you want the plant to go. So go for it. You're doing a good job. Yeah. Yeah. And look at that one then. It's quite long. It's quite a way out the fence. So what do you want to do with that? Yeah, and don't be upset because it's still going to grow. It's a growing season. It's going to grow, but it's not going to grow all the way out here. It's going to grow a bit more controlled towards the fence. So what do you want to do with that one? It's quite long.
I don't know. I'm going to try taking it to here first.
Good. That's a good idea. Take it to here first. See what you can see. I like that.
Is that better? Because that's growing.
Oh, look how good she is. That's excellent. I'll take it to here first because you can always cut back a bit more if you think you need to, but you can't add anything back. Good. I say that's a good one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one. Maybe I'll take that down to here. So you think this will still keep growing over the summer?
Absolutely,
Okay.
definitely.
Is that something I'm reluctant to
Yeah.
things like that as
Yes. No, because it's in the growing season. It's a great time to prune back because it's just going to carry on growing. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah?
It really does.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a bit more for you here and have a look if you like. I mean,
I will.
feel free to do this. Yeah. So with this one, so rather than it just being long over there, I'm going to force it to grow more from here.
Yep.
Okay, here. I'm going to take it to here. This one. Yeah, and it's a good idea sometimes just almost to take out the tips. This one's quite long. I'm going to take it out from there. to take out the tips, which means it's not going to keep growing outwards. I'm going to keep it closer to the fence.
Yeah. Because you have some of these in your garden, don't you?
I do indeed, yeah.
And yours really have provided a screen now,
I love
haven't they?
it. I love it. I love this one. This is laurel. It's a great evergreen. The bees, funny enough, like this, although there's not a lot of flowers, but it does have some. But yeah, I've trained it specifically. So there's a lot going on down here.
Yes. This one's quite an awkward shape.
Yeah. I might, you see, so that's covering that area.
Yeah.
This is covering that area. Actually, it might seem a bit brutal, but there's a lot going on here. I'm going to cut it off all the way down there. Don't be afraid. Let's get rid of this. There's one sticking upwards, so it just starts growing upwards there. Upwards there. Yeah, sometimes step back and have a look. This one here, cut that back there. This one here. There. Let's take this back quite a bit. This again, quite a bit going on there.
It's looking great.
It's looking better, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just looking tidied up.
That's it.
That's lovely. Take that one back. So this one's become quite woody,
Ah.
but I'm still
So I
going to
come
take
in-
it back. So you've got some light growth here
Mhm.
in the last year, but you've got one that's a little bit more woody, that's older. But I'm still going to cut it back here only because I want it to be growing back towards the fence. Do
Yeah.
you see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This one here. Again. Put that on. Yeah, that's better already, I think.
Can you remember how small they were?
Tiny little things, right?
Yeah.
But they soon put on growth.
They
And,
do.
You know, sometimes, you know, you're looking for instant impact, and it's
It's quite
Well, number
nice
one,
to watch it grow,
watch
though.
it grow. Enjoy your garden grow. But also, of course, you can get plants that grow, you know, that are much larger. You pay for larger plants usually,
Yeah.
but it doesn't take long. Once they're established, after a year or a couple of years, they do, you know, they do soon grow. And it's nice to see them grow, you know, but there's nothing wrong with getting immediate. So it looks as if, oh my gosh, what's happened here? It looks quite
But you can see
bare.
you can see the structure of
Yeah,
it.
but it just means it's controlled back again, and it's just going to be a nice hedge all the way back down. I'm just going to do a few more down here. Yeah, you've got a whole new garden space.
I know. It's opened it up,
Exactly.
hasn't it?
Absolutely, it has. There you go. And then before you know it, the new leaves will come up, and then just keep it, you know, pruned backwards to there.
Yes.
Nice. Does that
That
make
looks
sense?
great. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I think it's time for a quick drink of some sort. Yeah, I think it's time for a juice or a fresh water or something.
Yeah, I think so.
So
It's
let's
really
do
hot,
that.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
fantastic. Good job. Thank you. Cheers and cheers.
Refreshing water.
Yes.
Because it's so hot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Fantastic.
Thank you for your advice.
Here's for a great garden. You know, obviously due to the lockdown, I've not been able to come before now, but I'm proud. It's good. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed gardening, and I think I took on board what you said earlier on. I'm sniffling. Okay, hold on, let me just get my tissue out. Yeah, I think I took on board something you said before that you know, with gardening, you know, you've just found it to be a space where you can just enjoy.
Yeah.
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 And you know, the purpose of the channel,
Sanctuary.
absolutely. You know, the purpose of the channel is to be in the garden and to be in nature, and just to use the garden and the garden or the outdoor space. If you're fortunate to have that space, to you know, just be a good place if you can, just to connect with nature. That's the whole idea of it. I remember when I first had my garden, I almost thought that I'd run out of things to do. But you mentioned earlier on as well that during the lockdown, your garden was immaculate.
Yeah.
It still looks immaculate,
Yeah,
but I can only imagine when you had even more time on your hands, you were just
there
always in
every
the
day
garden,
and
yeah?
just, you know, weeding or, you know, pruning back and adding where there's spaces.
I've definitely seen a lot of the things that you've added in here since I was last here, and it's impressive.
Yeah.
I think for us, I think the first lockdown, maybe the garden centres weren't even open.
They weren't.
No, it's like, no, we need the garden centres to be open. And then they were open in the second lockdown.
They were, weren't they?
Which was
Yes.
good. Yeah.
No, but the first one there wasn't, and yeah, we've definitely added to it, and some things have just appeared through nature.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. So thank you so much for showing me your garden.
No, thank you.
Yeah, be in the garden, be in nature. I trust you're well. I certainly am. We're certainly well, okay? So thanks so much for watching the channel, and be sure to give us a thumbs up. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, and where you possibly can. And I do appreciate that not everyone has a garden, but even, you know, if you have an allotment, if you have a friend with a garden, if you're able to, obviously there are still some restrictions in space. I was going to say there are still some restrictions in place, but where you can, if you can get out into open space, maybe a woods or the park or somewhere, see if you can just connect with nature and enjoy. Stay well, stay well, stay well. Bye for now. Thank you for watching.